Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Chad Silber here along with Eric Chilton and Lauren Coleman. Monique will be joining us in just a few minutes, but first we've got some big news happening at Guilford County Schools.
Absolutely. The search for a new superintendent is over right now. We are live at the district's press conference. We're waiting for the official announcement to begin.
Yeah, it looks like they're still preparing. We'll check back once they're ready, but for now, let's take a look at how we got here. Dr. Sharon Contreras announced her plans to step down from the role as superintendent in January. She says the decision to leave was brought on by the opportunity to work with a Raleigh-based nonprofit aimed at improving public education. She says her decade plus of experience will help her guide and work with new superintendents facing fluctuating challenges. Contreras' last day with the district is today.
The board partnered with a third-party agency to review applicants. It also released a survey allowing people to provide their input anonymously.
In May, the district appointed Dr. Oakley as acting Guilford County Schools superintendent. Oakley joined the district back in 2012. She has held several positions, including deputy superintendent. Oakley assumed the acting superintendent role in July. We spoke with her this week as she welcomed students of all ages on the first day.
Explaining, it's just going to be part of our morning. It's part of the routine, and making sure that the best part too is that they can make eye contact and say good morning right when they walk through. So just helping them understand the purpose and that it's not going to interrupt the day.
Okay, well, we have just learned that the school board, we've been waiting for this announcement on a new superintendent. We have learned that they have just gone into a closed session. Who knows how long that will take?
That's right.
But we know that it's happening. So you just kind of hang out with us while we're still working to get you some new information here.
All right.
Of course, as soon as we get that, we'll cut in and let you know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll be keeping an eye on that one, but we're going to jump into some of our other headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. Let's get to those headlines now. The family of Hetty Dawkins is hosting a vigil tonight in her honor. Dawkins went missing last week from her home in High Point. The search came to a devastating halt yesterday when she was found about 1.5 miles away from her home. The family says they are grateful for the closure, knowing that she is not in pain. The vigil will be held at Gethsemane Baptist Church at 6 p.m. And then right now, police say Concord Mills Mall in Charlotte is closed following an officer-involved shooting. 2 people inside the mall at the time of the incident told our news partners there they heard sirens go off and were told to take cover. Details are limited, but we are expecting an update from the public soon. This is a developing story. We'll keep you posted. The funeral for the former Forsyth County EMS chief are set to begin soon. Chief Darren Ziegler died Friday night at the hospital. He was adored by his community that he served for nearly 40 years. Ziegler was fire chief from 2019 to 2021. Colleagues say he had a passion for emergency medicine and was truly dedicated to the county. Services are being held at Revo Church in Walkertown. Major broadband investments are coming to the Triad. Governor Roy Cooper made that announcement today in Mebane. He says nearly 85,000 homes and more than 2,000 businesses are getting access to high-speed internet. The new tech is courtesy of the Federal American Rescue Plan. The governor says additional grants are expected this fall.
It's the last day of August and we're ending the month with very nice weather. This is a look at August temperatures throughout the month. We've had stretches of warm air. We've had stretches of cool air. We're actually ending the last part of the month with warmer days, today being a cooler one, but overall we've seen warmer temperatures and oppressive humidity. Today we're taking a break from the humidity as it feels nice outside. And these pictures are all working and active. There's just no clouds out there, at least at these shots. UNC Greensboro looking nice. App State also getting that abundant sunshine. Everyone getting to see sunshine. Some folks getting clouds here or there, mostly those upper level clouds, not necessarily seeing anything thick, anything looking scary, nothing that gives signs that we could see storms. It's expected to be a dry night across the entire Triad. Current conditions can speak to that. We're seeing those sun icons all across this map, indicating that it is a sunny afternoon. 85 in Greensboro, 88 in Burlington. You guys just yesterday were also also feeling the heat right around 90, 86 in Siler City. All across the south, that's where those temperatures are really warming up. And you can see towards the west and even the northern areas and towns and cities are staying around those low 80s. So as we go into tonight, with the humidity staying low, these temperatures are also going to fall. Comparing our temperatures right now to this time yesterday, so specifically 4:05 just yesterday, we were 3 degrees warmer. Right now we're 3 degrees cooler in Greensboro, specifically Reedsville, a 5-degree temperature change. Now over in the west, Wilkesboro, there's 11 degrees warmer right now as compared to yesterday, because if you recall, we had an active radar. It was raining there, and so it made for cooler conditions right now as compared to yesterday. Things were a big change. It was cooler yesterday around this time. It was raining. Today it's sunny. It's much warmer. For the next 12 hours, those temperatures will fall. That humidity staying low will make it feel like the AC is on outside for tonight. It's really going to be a cool one for the area. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, the weather is expected to be very similar to today. Talk more about it coming up.
It's a big night for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and all of his fans. He is getting back behind the wheel for Racetrack Revival, the racing comeback at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's a huge deal to have Dale Jr. a part of this, but also an important opportunity for the Speedway. This is a live picture of the track right now. It's looking beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky. People starting to gather. There's a huge race there tonight. Look at all the cars on the infield there. The racetrack closed back in 2011. Last year, the state approved $18 million for renovations there. Gotta love the Dale Earnhardt Jr. shirt. I'm sure she hasn't had that one out in a while. Jr. grew up coming to this track and racing here. His dad also raced here, so he wanted to be a part of this comeback. He'll be racing in the Racetrack Revival's Cars Tour Late Model Stock Race tonight. It's a race on oval tracks and road courses originally used by production model cars, now using cars specifically built for racing. Boy,
That's
what a
huge.
night.
Yeah.
That's huge. And as we said the other day, wherever Junior goes, everybody shows up. I, for one, am just loving the Sundrop car because I love Diet Sundrop. You see me bring that in. I'm like, I like the sponsorship of this one as well. It's great to see him back.
And so exciting for the people who live in that community. We've been reporting for the last several months about the revival of this speedway. So to be able to see a big name like him on it, that's a huge deal.
And I think it's going to be a really emotional day for him as well because, you know, he's raced here before. It's been many years since he's raced at all. His dad has won several races here back when he was alive and racing. So I imagine it's going to be a very emotional night for him.
I think that track closed, what, 10 or 11 years ago?
2011, yeah.
So people have been dying to get back in there and see this. And, you know, this also, that size track, the short tracks they call them, are so exciting because for the fans, you're on top of it. When you have those super speedways, it's like 4 high school football fields.
Right.
You know, I
Wow.
mean, it's huge. So this is an intimate setting.
And it's one thing to have, you know, someone like Dale Earnhardt Jr. come in to race here, but it's another when he actually helped get this off the ground. I mean,
yeah.
he came in years ago, and you know, the racetrack unfortunately had seen better days,
Yes.
and so he wanted to make it an iRacing course, if you will. So they wanted to come in and make it a video game course.
Wow.
So he was part of that, and then once that kind of got the ball rolling, then the state card started getting interested in it and other racing teams, and it just kind of grew up. It blew
So
up.
this is just coming full circle.
Yeah,
tonight.
for him,
that's,
it's
that's,
great.
That's huge. That's
It's very
amazing.
cool.
Well, moving over to high school football, it's time for you to vote for our Friday Football Fever Game of the Week. Head on over to our website. That's WFNYnews2.com. You'll see where to vote at the top of our homepage, and you can see all of your choices there and vote for your school. You can do it as many times as you like. That poll closes today at 5 p.m. We'll be right back.
Oh, I love this. One of my favorite seasons in the Triad. It is time for the Carolina Theater's Classic Movie Series. This goes on for months, by the way. It's a chance to see the old classics the way that they were designed to be seen on the big screen. I spoke with Marketing Director Megan Cope about what we will see on the big screen in the upcoming weeks. Megan, this is so cool. I mean, this is one of the most popular events of the year. Tell me what we can expect this year.
Our Carolina Classic Movie Series is back, and I feel like we're coming in bigger and better than ever. We're starting off in September, running straight through next June. We've just wrapped, of course, our Summer Film Fest. And then throughout the school year, we run at least one classic movie that you may not have seen on the big screen each month. But this year, we have multiple movies most months, including in September. We're kicking off with The Godfather in just a couple weeks, and then we have Paris is Burning, presented in partnership with Greensboro Pride, and then we roll right into our birthday month, spooky season. It's October. We've got 3 coming your way in October, including The Candyman. We've got Hocus Pocus back on the big screen, which was huge a couple years ago. And then my personal favorite, we're bringing back the Silence series with Phantom of the Opera starring Lon Chaney, and that will be accompanied live on the theater organ, and it's an experience unlike any other. I mean, not many people have had the opportunity to come in and see one of these movies that was made in the 20s, in a theater that was built in the 20s, accompanied by a theater organ that's been here since the 20s. So it's full history, and you get to live it now with some of the best popcorn around.
Well, I know this has a huge draw for you guys, and then of course it runs right into the holiday season too. So tell us a little bit about that.
I think the Carolina Classic Series is probably one of the most popular here at the theater. We have audience members that come back month after month, but we also see new faces each month coming in. And I'm especially looking forward to this December. Of course, we're bringing back the holiday series here on the big screen, but we just couldn't get enough. So we're also going to be screening some movies up in the Crown on our 3rd floor. So if you want to see Die Hard on the big screen downstairs, you can. Or if you want to go upstairs and see classic Jimmy Stewart with The Shop Around the Corner, that'll be playing in the Crown.
Well, I'm excited. Megan, thank you for taking time out today. This is good stuff. So I'm skipping ahead to the holiday, excuse me. The classics are coming up too. But for the holiday and Christmas movies, you can't name one that they don't have this year. They're doing it multiple days a week. They're also using the Crown Theater, which is their smaller upstairs room, to do some movies that maybe not like the big ones, but all the big ones are in the main auditorium.
And I'm sure they attract a lot of people, because I know my family during the holidays, specifically Christmas and Thanksgiving, we like to go to a movie. And if we don't see anything that we might not like in the mainstream, this is a great option.
I mean, The Godfather, one of the greatest movies of all time. You get to see that on the big screen. They got that, not too many years ago, the Carolina Theater upgraded their sound system too. So it's fabulous.
And what a cool atmosphere.
Yeah.
To see something there. Wow.
It was built in 28, I think, is when it was built, 26 or 28, the Carolina Theater. So it's a lot of character.
Right. And she mentioned they have the best popcorn around. So I mean,
Absolutely.
Just bring something different to the movie. There's a big difference between watching something at home than being in the theater. Hocus Pocus was one I saw in there that I would definitely pay money to see in a theater like that. I've seen it about 100 times on the Disney Channel. So.
And she brought up spooky season. So have you guys ever done, there's a walking ghost tour around Greensboro?
I have not, but
I
I've
would love to
Googled
do
it
that.
before when I moved here. I was like, that's something I would check out.
It is really cool. And they take you over to the Carolina Theater, and because there are stories
Multiple.
about ghosts there. And so I'm not going to say anything more, but I mean, yeah.
You need to check. Yes, I did a story for Channel 2, and we spent the night in the Carolina Theater and took a paranormal research team in, and it was.
So did you see the spirits?
We saw the little meters going crazy, and they were asking it questions. It was pretty amazing, and the Carolina Theater opened on Halloween in that 1926, 28, whatever. So they have a history there.
And wasn't there like a fire there?
Yes,
too?
in the 80s, a woman actually passed away. She set fire to the theater. She ended up dying in the theater. That's one of the spirits that they think is still there.
Maybe follow-up story. See if they're still in there.
I don't know if I'd want to see.
Have Chad be the one to
go
do the
see
story
Hocus
this time.
Pocus in there, right?
Now you're afraid to see.
I'll wait for the Christmas movie.
A little more holiday upbeat.
Haunted elves.
We're coming back. Stay right there.
Not one, not two, but 3 areas of low pressure in the tropics to keep an eye on over the next several days, all of them with at least either a moderate to high chance of development. And as you can see, your eyes are more than likely drawn to this one area down to the southern portion of the Atlantic that's really starting to get some good organization with it. Whenever we're looking at the tropics, we want to see that nice counterclockwise rotation of all the thunderstorm clusters coming together and making that nice warp circle. But we're starting to see those cluster of thunderstorms come together, still not necessarily organized, but it's giving promising signs. And as it continues to move towards the west, moving into good environmental conditions that could lead to further development. Further north, still out in the Atlantic, the central Atlantic, this elongated area of cloud cover you're seeing on here is another area of low pressure that could actually get the name before the one down to the south. But we're always keeping an eye to the tropics, especially over the next several days, because we're nearing the peak of the season. Danielle is that next name. Then we get Earl, and following that, Fiona. It's been quite a while since we've named a storm, but it's also been quite a while since we've seen activity. We're seeing activity now, and that activity could soon ramp up and then become named storm. As I mentioned, as we approach the beginning of the month of September, that's when we start to get into the peak of the season, where things could get busier and we could start seeing more activity on the tropical satellite and out in the Atlantic, and the overall conditions out there are much better for tropical development. Jumping back closer to home, here's a look at your 7-day for the next several days. You can see the temperatures really having minor tweaks in that, but the humidity, we're going to take a break from it again still tomorrow as well on Friday. The humidity starts building back Saturday, creeps back into the forecast. Then we're feeling it full on Sunday and through the start of your Labor Day. I don't believe Labor Day will be a washout, but we do have an increased chance for scattered storms throughout the day on Monday and again on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Hey, what's that falling from the sky? It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's fish-flavored vaccines. Yeah, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is dropping millions of tablets from the sky to limit the spread of rabies. The fish-flavored vaccines are dropped from helicopters across 13 states. The goal is to get raccoons and other animals to eat the medical treats and prevent viral spread. The drops aren't happening in our state yet, but if it goes well, the government says it could expand the program.
In my mind, I just picture little animals coming out like little cartoon versions of the critters. That's what I see in my head.
They'll think it's like, and then every time for centuries after that, when helicopters fly over, all raccoons are like, well, come on.
And then they're going to have their hands up like
Where's
this.
our treat?
Where's my tree?
What an interesting idea, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we talk about, well, we don't actually talk about it, but we get emails all the time about rabies cases in this county and that county. I mean, it just seems like it's an ongoing thing.
I think it's a great idea because if you think about it, our pets, our cats, our dogs, we take them to the vet and they get their shots. But, you know, the ones that are out in the wild, you know, we're not taking them
Live
to
or
the
die,
doctor's
right.
office. So I think that this is a great idea.
All right, it sounds like we are getting some new information from Guilford County Schools.
All those in favor, raise your hand. Woo woo. Linda, how do you vote? Linda, are you there? Yes. Yes. I'm here. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. All those opposed? All right, that passes by a vote of 8-1. I'd like to say a few things before I hand it over to you, Superintendent Oakley. But for the public to know that you've spent most of your career serving the students and families of Guilford County. Dr. Oakley's a collaborative leader who is deeply invested in the success of our community. She is a homegrown leader, determined to break down barriers so all children can achieve their full potential. Dr. Oakley's roots are in Guilford County, and she is a product of Guilford County Schools. She grew up here, started teaching here, raises her family here, and now she will be the first superintendent from Guilford County to lead the district. She is committed to our district and has been instrumental in its success both before and after the pandemic. Dr. Oakley led significant academic initiatives resulting in increased academic achievement in all tested subject areas at all levels and for all student demographic groups in 2019. Dr. Oakley also played a critical role in reopening schools following the COVID-19 pandemic and guiding the district to academic recovery through nationally recognized learning hubs, high-dosage tutoring programs, and strong professional development for principals and teachers. And as we have seen throughout her tenure with Guilford County Schools, Dr. Oakley is an engaging and inclusive leader who values the voices of others and advocates for their support in improving the lives of our students. As a former teacher, principal, and current GCS parent, she understands the needs of our students and families and is committed to serving them in ways that will lead to transformational change for our community. She is a tremendous asset to our district, and we are honored to have her as our superintendent. Please join me in a round of applause for Superintendent Dr. Whitney Oakley. And before we invite Dr. Oakley to say a few words, I would like to hand this over to Jill Wilson, who has another incredible opportunity and honor for us here. So, Jill.
What a day this is for Guilford County, for Greensboro, for North Carolina. I'm so excited for Dr. Oakley's opportunity, and I'm excited to get to address you today because my treasured partner, my treasured friend, I recommend this book highly. Mine's kind of dog-eared. The first Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court who was African American, the first-year law student at UNC who is African American, one of the most important legislators from Guilford County, one of the most treasured people I know, has graced us with his presence to swear in our first homegrown superintendent. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Chief Justice Fry. And the boys. You're gonna stand there? And just hold on.
We got the whole family, huh?
Hit me. You're here. You're here.
You gonna hold the Bible, baby? Bring it to me.
Hi.
Are you ready to take the oath?
I'm ready.
I, Whitney Oatley,
I, Whitney Oakley,
do swear
do swear
that I will well and truly
that I will well and truly
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office of the Superintendent
of the office of the Superintendent
of Guilford County
of Guilford County
Board of Education,
Board of Education,
according to the best of my skill and ability,
according to the best of my skill and ability,
according to law,
according to law,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do solemnly
I do solemnly
and sincerely swear
and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and pay true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support,
to support,
maintain,
maintain,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Good job.
I think you have to sign this.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
All who think I should sign this, raise your hand.
Right there.
You don't want me to sign as superintendent now?
I mean, not today.
That's it? Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I was going to say, within the acknowledgement, we usually invite the family up so the board can recognize them.
Do you want to come up?
Sure.
Give her the mic. Come this way. Just shake hands.
Whitney, you want him to come? Come.
We know her parents are here, and it's got to be a sister. A brother. I would.
How amazing is that? Just a beautiful ceremony, having her family up there, while they just take this all in.
I just love seeing the kids up there, it's so good. The kid with a hat, I love that. There's so much personality. And this is to me, this is what an official ceremony should be. That way you add a little heart to it. And so, it can be official and it's reverent, but then at the same time, it kind of brings you into her world as well.
And how incredible that they said that she is the first superintendent from Guilford County. I mean, I just went and quickly did a search on her, and she went to UNCG. She graduated from there with her Doctor of Education degree back in 2011. She actually started her career in Greensboro working at Fraser Elementary. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Sit in your seat.
Good afternoon. I want to begin by thanking the Board of Education for selecting me and placing their confidence in me to serve this great school district as your superintendent. As a proud resident of Guilford County, I also want to thank community leaders and elected officials in the room who have been so supportive while I've been serving as acting superintendent and in all of my previous roles with the district. I also want to thank my family, my husband Ashton, my children Campbell and Hudson, and my parents for your unyielding support as we take this journey together. Today is a special day for me. I am the product of Guilford County Schools, and one of the schools I attended was Guilford Primary School, which is now the Doris Henderson Newcomer School, named after my former principal, Dr. Doris Henderson, who is with us today. She and I visited the school on Monday for the first day of school, and during our visit, we had time to exchange stories and remember those days that seemed so far away. And as I walked through the halls of my old elementary school, it's really old now. It was old then. I could not help remember my younger self, the almost 5-year-old at Guilford Primary, on her first day of school. I wish I could have told her that everything was going to be okay. The first day of school, it's not as scary as it seems. In fact, she has nothing to worry about. And years later, every single time the first day of school comes again, it would be one of the happiest days for her. I do know that today is not the first day of school, but in some ways it does feel like my first day. A new beginning. I have big dreams and hopes for the future. Guilford County Schools is a very special place for me, and I know it is for you too. It is where I decided to raise my family and dedicate my career. Having grown up in Guilford County and now a parent to 2 GCS students, I have a unique vantage point of where we have been, where we are today, and where I see us headed in the future. I would be remiss if I did not say I had the privilege of working under the leadership of our 2 most recent superintendents, Dr. Sharon Contreras and Mo Green. I especially want to highlight the work of Dr. Contreras because the last few years have been incredibly difficult for educators. I am grateful for her numerous contributions to our community and especially for leading us through the pandemic. Her passion for improving life and learning outcomes for all children and her willingness to fight for equity and justice won't be forgotten. I will continue to fight for every child in our community and address the structural inequities that exist. Today, GCS is on the verge of a new chapter, one full of opportunity and promise for the future of the children in our community. And that's the reason I'm standing here before you. I feel called to lead our schools in this pivotal moment. I feel a sense of responsibility and commitment to show up for my community the same way it has shown up for me. And I want to finish the great work that we've started. Together, over the last 2 years as a district, we implemented a robust strategy to address learning loss, a 5th quarter, learning hubs, and high-dosage tutoring for the students who needed it the most. Our tutors completed more than 60,000 hours of tutoring and more than 109,000 sessions, and we're not done. Tomorrow, when the state officially releases test data, we will be announcing learning gains across our student groups. However, the vast majority of our students are not yet where they need to be. We have unfinished learning to address, and I know we can do it together. One of my proudest moments as Chief Academic Officer and as an educator here was when we did increase academic achievement in all tested subject areas and at all grade levels in 2019 for all student groups. And to our students and our teachers, I know we can do it again, and I know we will. With all of us working together, I know we can accomplish anything. As a longtime resident here, this year felt really special because as a community, we came together and made a commitment to our students and educators that we will fix our facilities. I am grateful to the voters for saying yes to public education by approving a school bond that is the largest investment in school district infrastructure in the history of North Carolina. Thank you for putting our students and our educators first. Some of our schools have been waiting for decades. The principals are like, yes, yes. I am also grateful to our Board of Education, the Guilford County Board of County Commissioners, and all of our elected officials for your ongoing support as we continue this monumental work together. We will be good stewards of the precious resources with which you have entrusted us, I promise. Now we have some schools to build. Last week, it was inspiring to attend the groundbreaking ceremonies for 6 of our schools, and we have many more to go. I do want to speak to our parents for a moment. Each day, as you say goodbye to your children and send them off to school, just like I do mine, you do it knowing how important it is, but also how much is at stake. Our country is facing unprecedented challenges with gun violence, and our schools are not immune to it. To the families watching tonight, I want you to know that the safety of our students is a top priority for me. We have already begun strengthening safety infrastructure, and we will continue exploring additional measures that keep our students and staff safe. I want to remind us all that keeping our students and staff safe begins with meaningful relationships. Making sure each student has a trusted adult in the building is some of the most important work we can do. To the people who make this school district run, our hardworking teachers, principals, and staff, I look forward to continuing this work alongside you. I want to highlight their leadership for just a minute. When the pandemic first came knocking, all of our hardworking staff, including our bus drivers, our school nutrition staff, our nurses, our teachers, our principals, and district staff rolled up their sleeves and buckled down, working together to make the swiftest transition to remote learning. Then, realizing the long road ahead, our staff worked tirelessly to help students regain a sense of normalcy without sacrificing health and safety. Our GCS staff kicked it into high gear to help students return to school with numerous safeguards and precautions in place. Our staff did not give up. Whenever and wherever they were needed most in the last few years, they kept showing up, demonstrating remarkable leadership amidst unthinkable hardships. For that and for what you do each and every day, I am grateful. Our community is grateful. Your hard work and dedication are seen and appreciated. Thank you. I want to end with this. I believe in Guilford County Schools. I believe the power of public education can change the world. And I am so excited about this opportunity to lead with our board members. I'm deeply invested in our success as an educator, as a parent, and as a member of this community. In my 20 years in public education, I cannot think of a more important time for our schools than right now. Our students need champions who continue to show up for them, not slowing down, not giving up, not losing hope, but pressing forward. The future of our students and our community depends on it. So in the coming days together, we will launch a series of community conversations with families, educators, and community leaders to envision our hopes and dreams for our students and our shared future. What type of schools do we want to build? Who and where do we want to be as a community moving forward? As superintendent, my goal is to make Guilford County Schools the best place to learn, work, and grow. This decade is the most consequential decade for our children and our community, and the clock is ticking. I did not get to tell my almost 5-year-old self that there were no limits to what she could accomplish. But today I want to tell all of our students that there are no limits to what they can achieve. And we will rise to new heights because we're better together. There is no time to waste, and I'm eager to start now. I invite you to join me, so let's get to work. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice speech.
Absolutely.
I will tell you the two things that I take away from this as a parent of GCS students, two that have gone through the system and two that are still in elementary and middle, is the fact that she highlighted safety. It is something that I know we hear it a lot, but when you hear someone that's new taking the reins, say this is our top priority, and she's a parent, she has little ones. I mean, you can see how well they look like they were elementary school, maybe middle, for one. That means a lot to me as a parent to hear that safety's top priority, because really it's that and then academics second, nowadays.
I'm still in shock that she's the first person to be a product of the school district to become superintendent. Just amazing.
Yeah, and to have the icing on the cake, Judge Henry Fry there to be a
Yes.
part of this. He went to school at North Carolina A&T. He's the first African-American Chief Justice of the North Carolina State Supreme Court. And at 90 years old, he is still making waves
honor.
today.
Yes.
All right, we'll take a break.
Mike check Jalen 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
Hi, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check. 90 and break, us first.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Chad Silver, Monique Robinson, and Lauren Coleman.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. If you're watching at home, on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app.
Obviously, the big story of the day is the Guilford County Superintendent being named, but the other big story we're following today is happening up in Wilkes County, specifically North Wilkesboro. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s big night.
Yeah, he's back behind the wheel, and what better place to do it than right here in the Triad?
Oh yeah, tonight at 8, he is hitting the North Wilkesboro Speedway for a true racetrack revival. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is live there ahead of the big night.
Hey, it is race day here at Wilkesboro Speedway. Cars getting on the track for the first time in a long time, and one of the drivers will be Dale Earnhardt Jr. tonight. He just could not miss this event and being a part of this racetrack's revival. So he will be racing tonight in the Cars Tour Late Model Stock Race. Something special for him because it'll be his first stock car race in more than 2 decades. First time racing here at North Wilkesboro Speedway in nearly 3 decades. And on top of all of that, he's racing the number 3 Sundrop sponsored car, a tribute to the one he drove at this speedway back in the day.
It's emotional to see everybody here. I just want everybody to have a great time, and I want all the racers to have a great experience. I just hope everybody, when they leave, I hope everybody says, man, I'm glad I was there for that. That's all I hope that happens. And I want to run every lap, I don't care really how great we run or how bad we run. I'm going to try not to worry about being competitive and let that really drive my measure of enjoyment. I'm just going to hope to complete all the laps and then at the end of the day, want to do more, right?
We are still a couple of hours from racing here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Fans starting to come in still, and cars are on the track right now getting ready for qualifying for that race tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be racing tonight around 7:30.
Humidity said goodbye for today, making for a nice last day of the month of August. That comes all behind a cold front that made its way through just earlier today. Kind of really brought the activity with it yesterday, but swept through officially earlier today. High pressure settling in as of now, and that's going to continue for your day tomorrow, making for very similar weather conditions as what we are feeling today again tomorrow. This water vapor imagery showing you this brown swirls are indicating very dry air that's sticking with us throughout the next couple of days. Zooming in a little bit closer, no chance of rain in sight because there's really no moisture to really aid in that possibility of us getting to see any storms. So rain chances don't return until we get to the weekend and really into next week. So overall looking nice and dry as we end out the work week and the first full week of school for a lot of folks. The August rainy days, we've been staying on the dry side for the last couple of days. We'll be back.
We are just about 72 hours away from the 2022 Aggie Eagle Classic, and this year's installment is very special. The game will be played this Saturday at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. WFNY News 2's Jalen Gilkey spoke to a few of the Aggies ahead of this heated rivalry.
Yeah, Lauren, the first ever Aggie Eagle Classic dates all the way back to 1922. So, is there any better way to celebrate 100 years of history than by performing on the biggest stage North Carolina has to offer? The 100th Aggie Eagle Classic will take place in Charlotte for just the 4th time ever, and this weekend's game will be the first time since 2008. Now, let's hear from head coach Sam Washington ahead of Saturday's battle.
To play in the Charlotte, a place like Charlotte, in Panther Stadium before, possibly a record crowd, against your in-state rivalry, you can't strip it much better than this.
And the scene is set. Two longtime rivals battling it out for bragging rights for the year. And over the last 4 meetings, the Aggies are 4-0, outscoring Central 150-24. But senior Taman Cook is looking to continue the Aggies' dominance.
First game, I always feel good going into it, and to be playing where we at in that environment, it's a big stage, so it's even bigger this year, really, I want to say. We feeling good always. We can't underestimate them, of course, though. We ain't gonna do that, but of course we know we gonna win.
And Lauren, I know you said you've never actually been to an Aggie Eagle Classic, but there's no worries. If you're looking for tickets for Saturday's game, there are still some available. I'll attach a link to where you can find them in this web story on WFNYnews2.com.
Yeah, so I've never been to an Aggie Eagle Classic, but it's on the same level as like a homecoming game?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. It's the only thing that rivals it.
Okay, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Are you going to be out there this year?
I actually have to work, so I won't be able to make it, but I'm going to try my best to check in. So we'll see how this goes.
All righty, we'll be right back after this break. Stick with us. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hi, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey.
Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hi, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check.
It's time for my 2 cents. It's Monday morning and your alarm goes off. It's the start of a new work week. You haven't even made it out the front door and you're already thinking, where did the weekend go? Friday? Is that you? Don't get me wrong. I love what I do, but I am guilty of wishing the work week away every now and then. I just feel like 2 days off is just not enough. If you really think about it, you really only get Saturday to take advantage of some relaxation or attending an event. My Sundays are usually spent running errands, meal prepping, and planning for the week. By the end of the day, I'm worn out and thinking, if I just had one more day. During this time of great resignation, more companies are experimenting with implementing 4-day work weeks. Though a 4-day work week may not be feasible for every industry, research shows productivity in the workforce can be maintained when the week is shortened. An alternative to a 4-day work week could be paid mental health days. These are days specifically meant to help employees manage their mental and emotional well-being. A recent survey found 89% of employees said paid mental health days would help them recharge and be more productive. A shorter work week or special PTO may be wishful thinking to some, but with many employers desperate to find workers, change is necessary. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect new results. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFNY News 2 at 5 starts